B-side, yeah!
Let's practice. Hey everybody, this is Nine from the B-side. I'm here with Luna, and we have a great interview today. Who are we going to be talking to?
Fishbone.
That's right, we have an exclusive interview with Norwood Fisher from Fishbone. Truly one of the greatest conversations, I think anyway, that you'll hear about race and the state of America. Got some stuff about music as well. It's a great conversation. I've also got exclusive footage from their sound check, and my deepest appreciation for Norwood to take the time out to talk to us. Enjoy the show, everybody. Say bye, Luna.
Bye.
See you later.
Take it to the beat, y'all. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Again, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me, and the people. I've had a lot of feedback on our website. Very excited that you guys are out again, and you've got most of the original crew. Started out with most of the crew.
It is everybody who made the Chim Chim's Badass Revenge album is here. So the entire Chim Chim's Badass Revenge lineup, and from Reality of My Surroundings, Reality of My Surroundings, 5 of the 7 people that made that record.
Wow.
and yeah. So and that and give a monkey a brain. So
Right on. Well, it sounded good. The sound check sounded real good. Yesterday I went, you know Joanna Connor, the blues guitarist?
no.
She's most surprising lady you'll see. They call her the blues queen of Chicago.
Okay.
I interviewed her yesterday.
Right.
She looks like she should be somebody's mom baking cookies.
Right.
And then she just busts out and she's the most badass electric slide you ever saw.
Okay.
And I told her I was going to interview you guys today. She's buddy Guy took her in and she played with the 44th Street Blues Band and
Okay.
all those cats, and then went solo, and she's got a standing thing at the House of Blues, and she was just like tickled to death that she
Wow.
should be with you guys. How does it feel like to be that kind of an influence, not just back, to the people who are coming up behind you, but to the people that were in front of you, for them to look at your stuff and go, wow, that's...
Yeah, you know what? That is like humbling is about the first thing that comes to mind, because it's honestly because it is, I don't know, I appreciate where I am and what I've been able to do in my life. I don't take it for granted like I feel like I was born to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but people are born to do it and they become lawyers. You know what I mean? And people are born to do it and they wash dishes in restaurants. You know what I mean? So
like Milo became a biochemist for DuPont for 15
right,
years.
yeah.
And then it just came back last year.
Exactly. So, you know what I mean? So it is, so, like, honestly, my path is like, it is humbling to be in a position to be able to have, people who preceded us look at us, come up and go like, whoa, like, okay, you guys are, it's like, it can be overwhelming. I don't like to think about it a lot. It can be overwhelming sometimes.
It's hard to grasp.
Hard to grasp. And sometimes, and the bands that come after us, especially when they rise to prominence. You know what I mean? Like, really, we had something to do with that?
And I saw in your documentary, Gwen Stefani was just like losing her mind over it, and felt like she wouldn't have had it if it hadn't been.
Yeah. When you see somebody rise to a Gwen Stefani and go like, wow, like we impacted her and influenced her to do what she does. There's a lot of other people that a lot of shoulders that she stood on, but to be one of those that she actually always acknowledges graciously, is like one of the coolest ones was the first time, like we were playing the Ritz in New York, and the guys in Anthrax.
Oh yeah.
And they go I don't know, you might not know our band, we're from Anthrax, and we're totally influenced by you guys. You might not know about how we sound, but we love you guys. I was blown away, you know what I mean? 'Cause
I started playing bass because of you, man.
right on.
I heard the solo in Bonin and the Boneyard, and I just lost my little mind.
Right.
Because, I'm 10 years your junior, but man, I just absolutely flipped, and I know how people feel. The first time I ever saw you guys was in Tempe. I want to say it was 88, maybe 87 or 88. And you guys came out into a courtyard or something to do a free show before you guys had your show that night.
Yeah.
And I think people just lost their minds. They didn't know what to do with you. You were so high energy. We saw you coming across the street, and Angelo had his glass cane back then, he was walking with his strut, and you guys just came like the most badass guys we'd ever seen.
Right.
And then you started playing, and the audience just didn't know what to do. And they ended up pulling a trombone
out of his hand and tore it to pieces.
Right.
It was just standing there like, what the fuck just happened?
Right.
You know? But I couldn't figure out my whole life, like, why would people do that? And I think they just like didn't know how to handle it. It's like the old Dracula movies, you know, when they had to carry people out in ambulances because they were so afraid because they'd never seen something like that.
Right.
Do you get that? Do you get that response? Do you feed off that response? I mean, not obviously not having your trombones torn apart,
But you know what? Hell yeah! That's like it's. You know, one of the first things like like once people started reacting to us.
Yeah.
You know, because there was a period where people just kind of stood there and went like, "What do we do with this?" Like, you know.
Right.
But when people started really reacting, there was people who danced and whatnot. But when we started really getting crowds and seeing like pandemonium,
right,
absolutely, because we were, you know, Decline of Western Civilization, right?
Yeah.
That movie and Dance Craze. Seeing those movies, actually, like the pandemonium of both of those movies in the audiences, like, so we started seeing that in our own shows. There were other shows that we went to as well, that like, boy, you know, like, and then we started seeing it, and yeah, hell yeah, we fed off of it. It's like, you know, we were giving something, they were giving it back, and it would drive us to another level. You know? Yeah, so yeah, it was totally like an audience man feeding frenzy.
Well, I know you've got to go and get some food. I'll ask you one last question if you don't mind. One of the things I talked with Joanna Connor about was she said that we talked some politics, talked about what the fuck is going on right now. Like, it's just crazy. But she said that she was motivated to do something more with a statement in her next album. And I know that, you know, the fuck racism, the statements you all have put out about everybody should play nice and get along with each other. Do you feel that energy coming back again? Like it was definitely prominent in the 80s for me anyway, because we were fighting skinheads back then, and we'd go skanking at clubs and end up getting in fights with a bunch of, you know, neo-Nazis and stuff. Do you feel that need to push the peace and to push the concept of fuck racism more than?
Well, yeah, like fuck racism is, you know, we've carried that with us ever since, because we never saw it, like, people went, and this is, look, bottom line is, Donald Trump is not the source of the problem. America is built on some shit that we need to face. And we need to face it, and we need to have honest conversations about it. Because political correctness swept it under the rug.
That's right.
You know, like, if you research me, you will find I will say, I am not politically correct. I am not nonviolent. I ain't looking to fight nobody.
Right.
I'm not looking to cause trouble.
Right.
And love is what I'm stepping forward with. But honestly, you know, like, I grew up in gang-related Los Angeles. I was never a gang member. I saw political correctness saying certain words was a problem. But what I was saying was the human condition was a problem.
Yeah.
I'm like going like, wait a minute. You know, like, I get it. Words have power. But if you change the human condition, meaning you educate people actually, you actually empower them to be able to pull themselves up and actually be gainfully employed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you educate them on the world. You broaden their spectrum of their intelligence. And you solve some of that. It won't solve education, won't solve everything. You got to give them opportunity. You give everybody opportunity, you level the playing field. Then the human condition can properly shift. Then things that come out of people's mouths changes. That's what you get. So, people were saying like, I watched, hip hop come up and people say the word nigga. People, got all freaked out about that. I'm like, wait a minute. It's not fuck that they're saying that. They're talking about killing each other. It's okay. So it became okay to call each other nigga in a certain level. But the fact is that like, okay, and then the word faggot, which I get it. Like, I grew up in a time where you could say that. Nobody cared.
Sure.
I'm okay with it like it's not okay.
And Murphy did 45 minutes of his stand-up.
I could see the pain that it inflicts upon people. I'm not cool with that. I didn't know that when I was younger. But honestly, you say you can't say that, but you're not changing the human condition. That makes people think that it's okay to say that. So you make it politically incorrect. You didn't change a damn thing. The toothless, racist dude, he's not powerful. He's not oppressing me. His hatred is bigotry. It may be prejudice. But the institution of racism is what oppresses me. The pillars upon which that racism, what sits upon that racism is white supremacy. That's oppressive. But that toothless motherfucker in the Appalachian Mountains, and I'm being very stereotypical, purposefully, he's not oppressing me. He doesn't own AT&T or a bank or whatever, the bank that won't give a black person a loan. You know what I mean? The AT&T where I can't get a job because my name is Tyrone. Mm-hmm. That's true oppression. So we need to look at all of this shit as for what it really is. And I may have more in common with somebody that actually is holding racial bias. And the only thing that's stopping it is a conversation. Mm-hmm. We need to figure out how to have the right conversations to where we bring human understanding. Is my feeling. And I'm not on no kumbaya shit.
No, I know what you mean, man. One of the coolest things that ever happened to me when I was a kid, my grandma took me to New York and we got on a bus. And I must have heard 17 languages going at once.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
And it made me curious about people. And I think once that curious is aroused in people and you get to know people, it's really difficult to be afraid of somebody you know.
Yep.
It's
exactly.
Really, you sit down and have dinner with somebody, or you sit down and have a conversation, like you're saying, open up conversation between you and the dude that are suffering the same shit. It's the same shit.
Yeah.
If you're living in the bayou, or you're living in Appalachians, or you're living in downtown Tucson or South Tucson, it's the same oppression coming from the same source.
Yep, exactly.
But everybody doesn't see it that way.
And that is a purposeful design, so it keeps us from looking at like who is. And that's why my first thing out of my mind, like, Donald Trump is not the source of the problem. He is a symptom. He's in a very powerful position. He could do a lot of damage. But he didn't create the situation.
Yeah.
He's done damage before he got there.
Yeah.
As a very biased, ignorant human being. But he is not the source of the problem. I'm like, if we can actually see it as as the things that this country was built on and address that as like, you know, ultimately the apartheid system in South Africa was modeled after America.
Yeah.
We need to face that.
Yeah. You know, Adolf Hitler, when he spoke in front of Congress, said, we need to be as efficient with the Jews as the Americans were with the Native Americans.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
not the kind of compliment you want to get.
Exactly. But we need to face those things. You know, like really face them, talk about them, bring humanity to all sides of it. You know, and actually look at our collective psychosis.
That's a good way to put it.
We are all affected by the institutional racism, by the legacy of slavery, all that. We're all fucked up to various degrees, and really kind of get a collective diagnosis and come up with some solutions.
I know. Thank you very much for your
Right
time,
on.
brother. I appreciate it so much.
Right on.
Let's go, let's get it on. We ain't got no damn time.